Here at the Game Mag, we don't just talk about video game top lists, but we also tackle the news. For as long as video games have been around, news is always there. Back then from people thinking video games incite violence, and today people complaining about the latest predatory practices from video games. Don't worry, it's not all bad news, because who would want to watch a lot of negativity in the field of video games? We're going to be balanced here, offering a lot of news pertaining to serious, silly, controversial, and when the hell are they going to have PS5s back in stock news. Anyways, here are 5 of the latest interesting news bits to hit the video game world. 1. New MMO from former Blizzard and RIOT developers, Palia. Blizzard and RIOT are 2 game companies that need no introduction. RIOT is known for League of Legends, which is one of the most popular MOBA games of all time, which has exceeded over 10 years of being online. Blizzard also has a ton of games, and WoW is one of them, which is slowly reaching its 20th year of operations by 2024. With achievements like those, developers have come and gone, and that's where this new MMO called Palia comes in. Developed by Singularity 6, the team is made up of ex-RIOT and Blizzard developers. Years of experience is the arsenal of these former developers that have left these big-time game companies. While it's too early to say if Palia will be a success or not, the game looks good and interesting. From what we've gathered, it has elements from games like Harvest Moon or even Stardew Valley, but in 3D form. Your character runs a farm, you plant crops, handle animals, and the rest goes on. Combat is still vague at this point, but you might want to check this game out since it is available to play on PC today at a limited capacity during its pre-alpha. Number 2. God of War 2 delayed until 2022. If you're one of the people waiting for God of War Ragnarok, also known as God of War 2, then you're out of luck. The game has been delayed until 2022 with no clear month, which is a shame, but in a way also good. The PlayStation Studios head Herman Holst confirmed that the game would be delayed until 2022, which is good because it seems PS5s nowadays are about as rare as Kryptonite, good video game movies, and my chances at beating Bloodborne before passing out from dehydration. Okay, jokes aside, this game will also release for the PS4, but the production has been plagued by pandemic-related issues. The game's programming and coding aspect isn't the problem. The problem lies in the capturing aspect. The studio has to have proper permits and access to the actors and actresses that will be used to capture the actions. Basically, due to the pandemic, getting the right people to do the right things has been a challenge for the studio. Holst further reassured that they are not sacrificing the quality of the game, hence why it had to be delayed. And that's actually a good thing to hear. This delay has caused a 4-year gap between God of War 2018, but as long as the game delivers, that's all that really matters. Number 3. Capcom faces $12 million lawsuit for Resident Evil and Devil May Cry for stolen images. Have you been enjoying Resident Evil 8, also known as Resident Evil Village? We're pretty sure you're playing it for the plot and not because of a certain tall vampire lady and her daughters, wink wink nudge nudge. You would also think that Capcom is doing the happy dance because of the game's success, but they may be facing some legal problems right now. That's because Capcom right now is facing a $12 million lawsuit. The case is filed by Judy Juracek, who is the photographer. She claims that Capcom used some of the images from her 1996 book titled Surfaces. It was bundled with a CD-ROM containing more images. The book itself has over 1,000 images, and she has licensed some of those images to other people, which means that they paid her to use those, whereas Capcom did not. Further details explain that several of those images were used as to create some settings in the game. The most compelling evidence is the Resident Evil 4 logo contained one of the images from Judy's CD-ROM files, with the same name, which is ME009. Capcom's security breach was the reason that these files came into light, and she is seeking damages for up to $12 million. Number 4. Among Us Chicken Nugget sells for $100K. From a lawsuit worth millions of dollars to something a bit more silly but still involves a lot of money. Among Us may not have been as popular as it was a year ago, it is still being played by a good number of people. This game never runs out of silliness, and be prepared because an Among Us Chicken Nugget recently sold for $100,000. You heard that correct, an Among Us Chicken Nugget sold for $100,000. Yeah, kinda makes you question your life choices now, doesn't it? What happened was that the seller found a McDonald's chicken nugget shaped like one of the crew members from Among Us from his chicken nugget meal. The seller put on a bid on eBay starting at 29 cents. That started from May 28th, and the bid has gone up to over $90,000 and has recently sold for $100,000. The seller will ship the chicken nugget frozen, along with some of McDonald's famed Szechuan sauce. It's very interesting what things you can find online and the amount of money people would pay for these things. One would also wonder what happens to that chicken nugget after it's way past its expiration date, unless it stays frozen like those Among Us crew members being ejected into the coldness of space. Number 5. PS5 Restock news and update. The ever-elusive PlayStation 5 is still making its rounds today. People are still looking for it, but here are some news and updates in regards to restocking the PS5. If you're really on the hunt for a PS5, then you might want to keep track of Sony's Twitter account. You'll probably stumble on some news regarding where a restock might happen next. You might want to check out Amazon Prime Day, which takes place on June 21st. There may be a healthy stock of PS5s going up for grabs during that day, but fingers crossed. Plus, Amazon doesn't need to put it on sale since people will buy it right away. Best Buy and Target restocks are very tricky to track. They say that it happens on a Friday, but they usually get sold already on a Thursday. It wouldn't hurt to check your local Target or Best Buy to see if they have any restocks happening during June. After the lack of PS5s in May, it seems there isn't a clear sign as well in June, but just keep tracking and you may be able to get one legitimately. That news of a PS5 restock probably got you pumped up. Or not, maybe you're an Xbox fan, I don't know. Regardless, we'll cover more news in the upcoming weeks because we'll never run out of them. For more video game news, subscribe to the Game Mag and click on the bell notifications. Until next time, see you then.